We can do what it is that we say that we want to do to you. But we need you to do it to you. I don't have the power to do it to you, so I need you to do it because I know Yah's hand is on you. Did we not see that with Hasatan and Job? When it said, the sons of Elohim came, and that bastard is what I call him. Satan came also. And what did he say? Yah said, have you not considered my servant Job? After he said, where you come? To and fro, doing what I do, being on that mess. And he knew what he wanted. He knew he had been looking at him. He said, hey, you not consider my servant Job? Yeah, I want him, but see, I can't get him. I can't curse him because you being too good to you, letting him be blessed. You won't let me curse him. But if you let me get him, I will prove him and show you that he ain't only serving you because you was allowing him to be blessed. And we all know the story for those that actually read. We know the account because it wasn't a story. We know the account. There's guidelines. One thing that your adversary Hasatan is he's a good lawyer. He knows the legal stuff. He knows he can't touch you unless you touch his stuff. Balaam knew that. That's why he told him, I can't curse him, but I'll tell you this, because I still want that money. If you get him to get into sexual sin, you got him. You see how strong and how powerful sex is? That's why the adversary uses that. Little kids don't even know their ABCs, but they know every last nasty, raunchy lyric to Nicki Minaj or all these other different people out there. You don't think that that's for a reason? You think that that's coincidental? You got little girls walking around with tight outfits on. Got raunchy mouths, some of them more raunchy than the grown women. Out there twerking and adults around there seeing and they think that's cute. Little boy making it rain on his little sister. And people are putting this on social media and everybody thinks this is cute. You don't see the Baal Peor worship. What did he say? There's nothing new under the sun. History repeats itself when we don't learn from it. This stuff never went away. You thought it was only in the original covenant side, but it was gone. You turn on your TV, you see Baal Peor worship. All these sex slaves that they kidnap and all the other stuff, they're making them do Baal Peor worship. Anytime any of you frequent a strip club, whether it's a male dancer or a female dancer, that is Baal Peor. Not just Asherah worship, but Baal Peor worship. And you start to get debased. Once you start allowing fornication, adultery, all these different things get in, there ain't nothing you won't do. I'm talking to you. You know when you've been caught in sexual sin so much, you get this insatiable appetite. You don't just want to have just regular sex no more. You want to start doing all these other different things. You want to start trying stuff. You want to do S&M. You want to get beat down, dominate. You want all these other different things. Then you start dabbling in homosexuality. You start looking at porn, all these different things. You know, psychotic killers and mass murderers, they all got started with pornography. It's proven. You got to get down to base. Once he gets you to base, that's why I was talking about, don't be debased. Once you get to base, you will do anything. What will you not do once you keep on doing it? And then you don't realize watching porn, that's going to make you a homosexual anyways, because you sit up there looking at the man and the woman. And then you start looking more at the man stuff. You're looking at all these different things that you shouldn't be seeing. Then you start saying, oh, this is okay. A lot of us learned about sex through either being molested by somebody that we knew or being introduced to it through pornography by an uncle or aunt or an older sibling or an older cousin. That was how you got introduced to something that was meant to be beautiful. That was supposed to be two becoming one. It got bastardized, and that's why you think that certain things are okay. Oh, the marriage bed is undefiled. Marriage bed undefiled don't mean that everything goes. You can do whatever you want just because you married. Because who are you serving? If you're serving your flesh, like I said, you can do that and you can't get satisfied. You got to keep on finding other things. And that's how the enemy wants you. He wants you to be at Mount Peor. Worshiping him. You worship him when you're doing these certain acts. People that look at Kama Sutra, what do you think all that is? People that's doing yoga, what do you think that is? They're posing, they're giving worshiping type ways and signals to those demonic forces. That's why a lot of people's marriages is jacked up. That husband or that wife or both of them is inundated with porn. They're so seared. Men can't even have a relationship with their wife or vice versa because so detached from reality or from someone that's human, and they just got to stay at the screen. That's how Satan wants you to stay looking at him. To get you further and further away from the natural thing. They did things that were unnatural. And I know you don't like it, and I don't care. I got to answer to the Father by not telling you what's right. Every leader, true teacher of Yah, we got to give an account for what we said and didn't say. And your blood ain't going to be on my hands. So take it and do what you want with it. But you're going to take it. Again, when we get back to base, the enemy wants you to get to base. And I'm going to speak to those in code that know about, the drug life. You got base, right? But base ain't nothing until you got the cut. Now, for those of us Negroes are the bloodline descendants of Israel, we know that very well because what happened? When crack came into our communities, they had base, and you could go down to the corner. To this day, you can go to a convenience store, you can go to a Walmart or Walgreens or CVS and pick up some cut. If you know how to cook, do what you do, got product. Why? Because they want us. They put crack cocaine into our areas to get us to take it in. They couldn't curse us, but they said if we get them to have relationship with this thing, they will curse themselves. And look what, I remember when crack hit. Changed the Israelite community overnight. But look what happened when the opioids came, methamphetamines and all the other stuff. What did they do? They took the cut away. People that was doing the bath salts, that wasn't us. So you couldn't go to Bed Bath & Body anymore, Bed Bath & Body Beyond or whatever that name is, to get some meth, to get the bath salts, to do all these other different things to make meth. All these other opioids that the Gentiles use, the white folks use. They made sure you couldn't get no cut for that because they didn't want those people to be cursed. But do you not see that they still being cursed now because they cursed us? And what do y'all say? I will bless those that bless you, curse those that curse you. Who's dying? Who's got the low birth rate? There's a county in Ohio. So many people dying from heroin, from opioids, over 50-something thousand. Like they got so many bodies, they don't have enough morgues. They got to get morgues out in other counties because the curse is coming on the people in this country for doing what they've done to us. But the media is not going to tell you. And what are they still doing? Getting us to curse and kill ourselves. If we started making music that was positive and bringing our people back to y'all like we're supposed to, you wouldn't be able to get any of it. You wouldn't be able to buy one record because they would shut it down. But what would they give you? I killed that N-word. I shot him in his head. All these other different things. What? And that makes money. There's a reason why they're allowing Migos and Lil Uzi Vert and all these other mumble rappers, all these people that's talking about perp and all that other mess. There's a reason that they're allowing them to continue to flourish. And you see how the foolishness flourishes? They want you to do that because they want you to stay cursed. Because as long as you stay cursed, they can kill you. Do you not see, Yisrael, that they've been purging on us? And they always do that. When our numbers is getting too great, there's more of us than they want to tell you. Remember, they're afraid of us because they know our history better than a lot of us do. So they got to keep you cursed, keep you on drugs, keep you committing adultery, keep you from loving your family, keep you from living like the man that you're supposed to be, that you were made to be, not some woman or not some androgynous thing. Keeping you from being the woman that you were made to be and not some masculine thing or some androgynous thing. Keep you out the script. Keep you from praying and turning back to Yah and repenting. Keeping you from doing 2 Chronicles 7:14. So that you can stay cursed. Keeping you living to get by or do what they want you to do. And thinking about the whole American dream, which is a nightmare for us really when we open up our eyes. to have you looking at them instead of looking at him. Have you continuing to worship. When you worshiping a false deity, y'all ain't going to listen to you. He's like, you ain't real. Yes, I'm married to the backslider, but the backslider stops backsliding at some point and repents. That's why he had Yohanan and Mercer, or y'all know as John the Baptist saying, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The reign of the heavens is at hand. Repent. Come back. That's how you get out of the curse. That's how you stop being killed, is you turn from your wicked ways. You humble yourself. Seek his face. Turn from your wicked ways. You got Baal Peor worship all around you, and you don't realize that you're cursed with a curse, as Scripture says. Balaam is laughing at all of us. Well, he was. We'll get to it a little bit later on what happened to him, because I'm going to try to wrap it up for you in a little bit. I hope somebody's getting something out of this. That's why the enemy wants to get you to base, so he can put the cut in. He cuts you, and then he makes you an addiction to kill somebody else. And you know the sad thing about all this, that they cursed and killed themselves, is because they were that close to moving into the promised land. 40 years. Because remember that all the old guard, the ones that wouldn't believe in and still crying and complaining, we missed the leeks and the melons of Egypt and we had it better. Hebrew, please. You was getting beat. Your children were being put into the foundations of the very buildings that you had to make for Mizraim if you wasn't moving fast enough. All that stuff they did to you, raping your women, all the stuff that they've been doing to us since we've been into this second Egypt or Mizraim or bondage. And you telling me that you missed that? So he said, no, 40 years, I'm going to let y'all die out. Because y'all didn't believe. Y'all weren't married to me fully. Y'all was married to what you saw and what you thought. So this is a generation that's about to move into the promise, and they're making everybody afraid. They just going and kicking butt and taking names, but then somewhere along the line, they take their eyes off of Yah and do the things that he said don't do. And then they fall into the gap. Literally. Is this helping anybody? And then you look at with Leviticus, and I'm not going to have you turn there, but just write it down. Look at Leviticus 19 and 29. What do y'all tell us, my ancestors? Don't make your daughter a whore, so the land doesn't fall with wickedness. Now the Moabites, they made their daughters and their wives whores. They offered them up. We need to get like our ancestor Joseph and flee. We need to run. Don't stand there and look at it. You ain't that strong, bro. You look at it long enough, that seed gets planted, and Satan's like, oh, I got him. If I just get them to look long enough, and they keep on coming around smelling all nice and got the legs out and all the other stuff, and that melanin popping all oiled up, you think that you strong enough, you going to go. Because you trying to go in your own power instead of going what Yah says. Why do you think men can go and spend their whole 2-week check in one night at a strip club? Because they fell into the gap. They got married to the enemy instead of staying married to Yah. Now back in Numbers Bamidbar 25 and verse 5 again said, and Moshe said to the judges of Israel, each one of you kill his men who were joined to Baal Peor. And see, one of the children of Israel came. No, we read that. So let's go to verse 9. And those who died in the plague were 24,000. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, find the son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, has turned back my wrath from the children of Israel, because he was ardent with my ardor in their midst, so that I did not consume the children of Israel in my ardor. Therefore, see, I am giving him my covenant of peace, and it shall be to him and to his seed after him a covenant of everlasting priesthood, because he was ardent for the Elohim and made atonement for the children of Israel. When you actually stand for Yah and you fight for him, he'll bless you. This man saved more lives. There was 24,000 people that died. because of that fornication, that whoredom that they did at Baal Peor, or at the Lord of the Ring. And this man was righteous. He saw a Israelite man. You see how brazen he was? He's like, I'm going to take this Midianite woman. I'm going to bring her in the tent while everybody's at the opening of the tent of appointment and wailing and crying. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give me some of this. You see the magnitude of sin, how it gets somebody's mind that they don't care. Again, they get to base. They do not care. They will do. That's why I said, when you start doing that stuff, what will you not do? You open yourself up to spirits and you keep on just sinning and sinning and sinning. What will you not do then? You lose your mind. You'll do anything. So I can't trust somebody that don't follow Yah. I let the people who are fortified know. If you need to know him enough so you know if I'm doing right or wrong. Because you cannot follow me if I'm not following him. Follow me as I follow Yah. Ain't that what Shaul said? What will you not do? And so he saved people. 24,000 died. And again, when you go by the curse, you get killed. Curse yourself. Kill yourself. You decide, I'm going to do this. You're playing with your life. What is your life worth? What is your gifting worth? You know how many pastors and preachers, shepherds, evangelists, prophets, Malak messengers, or you also know them as apostles, emissaries? You know how many people had that title and they might have started off good, but because of sexual sin, they died. They cursed themselves. People got AIDS, got children, and then they started doing abortion, all these other different things to cover up one sin, and you keep on sinning worse because you open up that door and fell into the gap. We got to start look at King Shlomo. Solomon, you know him in King Jimmy. Started out good. But what happened? He started messing with all them women. You don't need 1,000 women. And they brought their fallen deities and he worshipped them and started having Asherah groves all over the kingdom. Sex is a vehicle. That's part of the vehicle series that we're going to end up doing. It's going to take you somewhere. When you look at that, the Baal Peor, not only is it the woman's body part, but you also look at it's a portal. Because it takes you places. In a metaphysical, all this other, and then it also takes you places as far as if you go on into the wrong portal, it takes you deeper into sin. The enemy he knew that. That's why he used it. What is the man's kryptonite? I don't care how strong he is, how powerful, how great he is. What's his weakness? The enemy knew that. That's why the enemy went after the thing that was his weakness, that was meant to protect him, to get him cursed. To get her cursed, had to go after the thing that she wanted. When you allow yourself to move outside of Yah, you curse yourself, and you allow the enemy to have free reign to do whatever he wants to you. Whenever you touch the devil's stuff, he has a right to touch you. Now, in the case of Job wasn't touching the stuff, but Yah could trust him. Most of us, Yah can't even trust us to not chew a piece of gum that he leave on the table and say don't touch it. Oh, but I'm going to serve him till I die. I love him. He's sweet, I know. And he's like, but I can't trust you. You're flirting with sin now. You allowed yourself to get seduced. That's what those women were doing. The daughters and the wives that these men offered up. Just because of their fear, they were so afraid of Israel, they said, let me give them up so they can get cursed. And then they can be like us. People out there in the world, when you actually truly get saved and set free and start living this walk, what do? They try to find ways to bring you back in because they want you to be just like them. They don't want you to be clean. Because when you're clean, that shows them that they're not, and that makes them feel convicted. And they don't want to change. They don't want to live right so that they can be blessed. They want to keep you just like King Balak. Well, if you can't curse him, don't bless him either. That's why they know you had a drinking problem. You got saved and set free from it. Why they still going to offer you alcohol? Why they still want you to go look at a flick? You know what a flick is. Want you to smoke some of that herb, that sweet cheap, but want you to do all these other different things. You hang with them long enough, you're going to start cussing like them all over again and doing the very things that you got saved from because you ingested it. There's a reason why he told us, if ye abide in me and my word abide in you, then you can ask what you will. It wasn't just something nice to say or some abstract stuff that the Gentile people wanted to teach you in the quote-unquote organized religion to get our people to keep on spewing that poison. He's telling you something. If you get in me and let me get in you, you'll be blessed. So what does the enemy do? The enemy steals the word from your heart. That's why King Dawid said, his word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against him, that I might not be cursed, that instead I can be blessed. But the reason a lot of you ain't blessed is because you still at the Mount Peor. You still doing Baal Peor worship. Thinking it's all right. Well, he loved me anyways, and well, I don't think that this is too bad. If you're saying that, your conscience is telling you, there's something wrong with this. But you don't want to let it go. And that's what's wrong with us today in this modern day Babylon, Mystery Babylon, as well as Mitzrayim. For those of us of the tribe of Yehuda and Benjamin and Lewi that's here in these United Snakes of America. As we still want to do Baal Peor worship. Again, what I tell you, Beyonce's bringing you to that. Nicki Minaj, all these rappers, all these R&B singers, seducing you. Seduction is witchcraft. There's a reason why Usher made that song, Seduction. How many people listen? D'Angelo, the How Does It Feel? You know how many people ended up fornicating because of that song? And the thing is, what a lot of people didn't know is that he said that he had some witch doctor pray over that song. So anytime that song played, it would affect, quote unquote, women that call themselves Christians. It would affect them to make them have that spirit of fornication upon them to have sex. But keep on listening to music because it's just music. Instead of trying the spirit by the spirit to see who it's from. Listening to seduction and then you wondering why you just got this insatiable desire to have sex. Or to do certain things. While you're in congregational service and you got these images coming up in your face. While you're at work, while these other different, you're having issues. Some people have issues with the spirit of masturbation and all these other different things. It's like, what are we putting into us? Are we still have some type of worship going on there? Now, yes, you can have thorns in the flesh and certain things, but if you're feeding something, you're going to strengthen it. And it's going to want to be fed more. So the first thing we got to look at is, is my prayer life consistent like it should be? Am I having that one-on-one time with Abba Yah? Or am I spending more time with the world? People can tell me and my Isha, me and my wife, we've been around each other long enough because we start resembling each other. We start saying the things that each other says. Because we spend time with each other. It might not always be the amount of time that we would like, but because we spend time with one another, we rub off on each other. She says things that sounds like me to people that have been around me long enough. They'll be like, hey, I know where she got that from. That sounds like her husband. And vice versa. Because we've been around, we commune with each other. And that's how you know when somebody's communing really with Yah and when they're communing more with the world. When you can tell me more about what's going on in the world than you can tell me about what's going on in the script. When you know how to apply more about what you see on TV than what you do in this here script. Y'all getting it? Again, back to the seducing spirit. Seducing spirit is actually a roving spirit. And roving, when I was in the military and in infantry, we had what's called a roving guard. A roving guard wasn't stationary. Roving guard went all over the place. Looking. To see if there was something there so they could go ahead and do what they needed to do with it. So when you think about seduction or seducing spirits, what's really happening is those demonic forces, when they're seducing, they're roving, they're looking, searching for you. What did it say? That Satan is like a roaring lion seeking who he may devour. But what did he have to do? He had to be roving, roaming to and fro. This thing is real. There's a whole bunch of Israelites that don't believe in the spiritual stuff. And they the main ones that's falling prey to this mess. You got spirits that are roving around looking. That was what was happening with those women that were placed at the doorways to their houses. Looking all whatever they was looking like to entice the men. They were seductresses. They were seducing them. They were roving so that they could get them and take them down. It ain't a coincidence with a lot of these lyrics to these songs and even the names of the songs. Chris Brown's song, Take You Down. There's nothing lovely about that. That ain't something that should make you happy. That's basically somebody saying, I'm waging warfare on you. I'm coming against you. I'm not doing this for good. When you talk about taking somebody, that is not for good. That's for evil. But put a nice catchy beat to it and let him dance around because you think he's cute, and you're basically singing the curse into you and don't even recognize it. And then wondering why you're having an issue with staying chaste. Wonder why you're having an issue with fornication or adultery or all these other different things. Why am I having such an issue? Is because you're speaking the curse into you. You're taking the curse into you. Everybody that actually has sense enough to know in the spiritual stuff knows that when you have sex with somebody, you're marrying your spirit with them, two becoming one. Now, it's an illegal marriage if you guys aren't actually married legally under Yah. Not like this whole doctrine where these jokers coming out just because they're nasty talking about if you have sex with somebody, then y'all just married. No, bro. You're just nasty. You're just a gigolo. That's why you're just a Hebrew gigolo. That's all it is. You trying to get in where you fit in. And then trying to make it right. But what he's saying in the last day, they're going to say that good is actually evil and evil is good. And while I'm there for a little bit, while I'm off on this tangent, what's the one thing when a lot of our men find out that we are really, truly the bloodline descendants of Abraham, Yishak, and Yaakov? What's one of the first things they do? This whole multiple wife bit. And then the next thing is all white folks is Edom. And they're not. But the first thing they want to do is have multiple women. Sexual sin, I told you. Fornication. And then they want to use an excuse for why they can do it. Because what? You in your flesh. You ain't had your mind renewed. You're conforming to the things of the world. That's why a lot of these cats, they start off knowing that they Hebrew, then they get into Pan-Africanism and Kemet and Egyptology and all that other mess, and then they don't believe nothing no more. Because what they allow themselves to marry, to lay with. You are cursed with a curse when you don't stay in obedience to Yah. You let them rovers come out and get you. Again, I told you, seduction is witchcraft. And what did he say? I suffer not a wish to live. Witches die. By what he said. And remember, all this cursing and stuff was done just out of fear. 3 points I want to give you. Spirit of whoredom and abomination is present again. And all this is done to prevent Israel from walking into our promise again, just like before. Remember, I told you they were getting ready to go into the promised land. And I was speaking to one of the members earlier today, and the Father had given this to me, is that many people have been programmed to believe that your greatest temptation is when you're at your weakest point. But it's not. I'm here to tell you it's not. Because when you're at your weakest point, you like, either you one or two things. I can't do anything else other than trust Yah. That's the only way I'm going to get out of this. Or screw it. So the enemy ain't really caring to get you like that. He ain't going to give you the greatest temptation at that breaking point. You know when he hits you with the greatest temptation is just before you're about to walk into your blessing. Because when you at that low point, you looking, you on high alert. But when you about to walk into your blessing, you've been walking in it, and you've been seeing the hand of Yah on your life, and all these different things. You just taking it, just going to war and going after it, and you're getting it, and you're getting the victory. That's when he hits you with the greatest temptation. Just before you walk into the blessing. Just like our ancestors did then, and just as we see now. Do you not see the correlation? A lot of the old guard is dying off. A lot of them don't believe in this stuff like they should. They quoted it to us. They read some stuff, but they don't really believe. They're faltering in their faith. Just like the ones of old. We miss the melons and the leeks. We miss being in Mizraim. They forget all of what was happening to them there because they just are so stuck in tradition, rituals, what makes them feel good. Just like it did then, the same way now. That's why y'all's turning up the heat, because there's a lot of us that still want to stay in this daggone forsaken country. And when it's time for us to leave, a lot of them still going to be cleaving to this place and want to stay here. So y'all saying this place is going to be destroyed. But I got to let it stay here until y'all leave. And there's still a whole bunch of, I love America. This place is good. I was like, really? Negro, have you checked the history? Not the one that they made, but true history. Who are they killing in the streets? Whose abortion clinics? Whose neighborhoods are abortion clinics in? They're able to assassinate you, purge on you, and get away with it, just like Zechariah 11, I believe verse 5 said. They kill you, do all these other different things, and absolve themselves of it, say that they didn't do anything wrong. Because they know who you are. They know that you are cursed. The Arabs, the Ishmaelites that sold us to them, they were looking for us. They said, these are people that are cursed of their Yah, their Elohim. So they knew that we were cursed. That's why they were able to kill us and purge on us, because we had the curse in us for being disobedient. You know what they called us? The people of the book, who are cursed of their Yah. That's why when the white folks got us and brought us over here, they came up with that Hamite curse. And that really was from the Jewish people. Every last ship that brought us over here was owned. And yes, I said it, by a Jewish person. When you check the ledgers, the names of the quote-unquote slaves, they were Hebrew names. But they ain't going to tell you that. Because they want you to stay cursed. You stay cursed when you don't know who you are. Oh yeah, that was another thing with the curse. This time for us is that take their heritage, take their language. That's why they was beating him and telling him his name was Toby, to get him to stop knowing what his name was, because his name had Yah's name in it. To get him to stop speaking his language so he would forget who he was. Take him away from his home. Take everything away from him. Get him down to base. Then put some cut in it and make him an addiction to the world, while you also make him addicted to the world. They got us. And the main thing that they always used to get us was sex. Something is happening. I've been telling the members here and abroad that we're getting close to getting something, a blessing. Yes, there's other things that are coming, but we're getting close to a blessing. That's why you're getting hit with so much stuff. So many temptations to get you to basically go into the tent of the Moabites. And we're talking about in the spiritual aspect right now. So that you can end up worshiping the wrong thing. 24,000 people died. Oh, but it's just sex, right? Wrong. Second point. You compromise your inheritance by disobedience and idolatry, just like our ancestors did the first time. You know, they don't do the little idols anymore made of wood and stone and all this other different wood you carry around. You know what the idol is now? The music artist. The actor or actress. The politician. And y'all really gonna hate me for this. A lot of them that church pastor. And of course, it's dealing with people that's in that whole denominational Catholicism, aka Christianity thing, which is just a ruse from what our script really is. But I ain't gonna really touch on them too much tonight. My pastor, he's just my pastor. It is good that you love your leaders, but the thing is, don't put your leader over Yah. Because he did say, I'm a jealous Elohim. And then again, the first wedding vow was, don't cheat on me. Don't put nobody before me. He said that. I didn't say that. He said that. That's the idolatry today. Compromising. Well, it's all right to do this. And what's one of the things they say? He know my heart. Yeah, he know it, and he ain't happy with it. Preaching in the pulpit just saying, all you got to do is just ask him to forgive you. But why am I going to ask him to forgive me when I'm wanting to do this and I'm planning on doing it, and then I'm just going to ask him to forgive it? It ain't true. Repentance means to turn away. Turn from and turn back to him. But the thing is, they got to keep you cursed. So they're not going to tell you because they eating off of you. Third point, stop lusting for the world or getting caught up in the world's seduction. Getting caught up in the world's witchcraft. Stop lusting after that. Stop wanting that. Stop desiring the things of the world. What would have happened if the Mashiach could have fell for the okie doke after the 40 days and 40 nights and Hasatan was tempting him? What do you think we would be? Stop looking at it and look at him. The moment you start misquoting his word, the moment you start saying, well, he didn't mean this, Satan's like, aha, I got him. We saw that in the garden, didn't he? Chawah did good saying what y'all said, but then she said something he didn't say. He said, we can't even touch it. He didn't say that. But when you open up doors, because he got that gap, that payor, that wide open and waiting for you. He's just waiting to see if you're going to take the bait. When relationships are jacked up, broken down, or plagued with issues, seductions will come. You can be seduced when the relationship isn't right or you have no boundaries. People that commit adultery, people that commit fornication, people that do all these different things that in actual relationships, whether it's spousal or family, or you look at even with Yah, when that relationship has issues or ain't right and y'all don't have no boundaries or y'all don't work on stuff, you open yourself up for seductions. A person that didn't say, you know what, one day I just want to cheat on you. No. There was a seed that was planted because of the issues, and then the more they started dealing with that instead of dealing with the issues, seductions will start to come. Oh, look at that person. And then let them start getting in your ear and start saying all the things that the other person, they doing like Joe. All the things your man won't do. Or your woman won't do. And the thing is, it's a roving spirit coming to kill you. That woman dancing on the pole don't love you, bro. She is coming to kill you. She is an assassin. And sometimes she don't know it because she's already been killed by somebody that did what they did to get her on that pole. That's why they shooting up and doing drugs and drinking all that stuff to try to forget. Because they realize the thing that they're worshiping is killing them. But they just don't know how to find Yah because they probably don't have nobody that actually has him with them to show them the way. Curse yourself. Kill yourself. That's what the enemy is saying to you. Every time he tries to seduce you. Every time he puts a temptation in front of you. Curse yourself. Kill yourself. Every time you're trying to study Yah's word. Every time you're trying to live righteously. Every time you're moving closer to that blessing, that promised land that he's bringing you to. Curse yourself. Kill yourself. He's just like King Balak. I want them cursed. I want them dead because these people are powerful and they are great. Then he also plays Balaam. Well, I can't curse them because y'all won't let me do it. But let's put that thing in front of them and see what they do. Why do you think the scriptures are always talking about that he lays snares down? When it says we are not ignorant of his devices, it means I see the traps that you're planting, but you almost got me. But no. Because I know you can't touch me unless of one or two things. I touch your stuff to bring the curse on myself, or Yah allows it, and if he allows it, I'm still good because it's for a reason, and it means he trusts me. And this is just another test I got to go through to prove my loyalty and my love and my marriage, my covenant with him. Why does it say, think it not strange when you fall into diverse temptations? When various things come to tempt you to try you, it's the perfecting of your faith, the trying of you. You got to go through the fire to get the dross off. But why go through the fire and actually get burned up? He's telling you, curse yourself. Kill yourself. That's what the enemy is saying. Curse yourself. Kill yourself. Come to my mountain. Fall in. Don't fall in line with y'all. Fall into the pit with me. There's a reason why it's called a bottomless pit. You wanted to be a gaping hole, you're going to fall into one, Hasatan, and everybody that followed you is going to fall into one. Curse yourself. Kill yourself is what Satan continues to say. When he brings things before you, curse yourself. Kill yourself. Write down these scriptures. We're not going to go because time is drawing near. And I thank you for being with me this long. I know I can get long with it, but I love the script. Write down Joshua 13:22 and also chapter 22:17. Hosea, or in King Jimmy, Hosea, chapter 9, verse 10. Tehillim, or Psalms 106, verse 28. And also look at 1 Corinthians, or Corinthian Aleph, chapter 10, verse 8. And we're getting ready to let it go. But hopefully you see that, and it gives you enough to think and start looking. When you start seeing things, now when you look at a video, you see that harlot known as Beyonce. And I don't care about the Beehive. They ain't stinging me. You see Chris Brown, you see Usher, you see Migos, you see Nicki Minaj, you see LL for the older group. My group, that was a sex icon for them back then for the women. You see Morris Chestnut for some of you, all these other different people. You can look at that and say, Danger Will Robinson, you almost got me, but I see you trying to seduce me. You're trying to tempt me because there's a curse that goes with me falling into that temptation. And where there's curses, there's death. But Yah said, I came. Yehoshua HaMashiach said, I came that you may have life and have it. What? Have it more abundantly. So you can't have an abundant life if you live in a cursed life. My people, true bloodline descendants, we are getting ready to come. This is about to be the 400 years coming up in 2019. The curse of the 400 years that we were under, that was spoken of to Father Abraham in Genesis 15 and showed in Deuteronomy chapter 28. And there's other chapters and other books, not just that one, that shows that we really are the people and that this prophecy wasn't fulfilled when they're trying to tell you it's being fulfilled now before everybody's eyes. That's again why he told us, 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people who are called by my name, and there was only one people that was called by his name. The church will never be able to replace true Yisrael. Church replacement theology was by Gentiles because they saw where they were in the book and they didn't like it, so they changed it. Just like the people that's controlling the world right now, they saw where they were in history and they didn't like it, so when they were able to have the opportunity to change it, they changed it. But things are coming back around. The truth is coming out every day. if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, will forgive their sins, and will heal their land. The land is also cursed right now because we're still in the curse. The people that's over in our homeland is not lush like it was because we ain't there. When we get there, everything will be back the way it was meant to be. That's why you have to realize the decisions you make when you curse yourself, not only do you curse you, but you curse everybody that's in line with you. You even curse the land and the animals. Did we not see that in the garden account? Everything got cursed because of the decisions that they made then. My people have been cursed almost 400 years now in this captivity, as prophesied, because of disobedience, going our own way. My ancestors, as we looked in Numbers chapters 22 through 25, and as you look at some of the other scriptures, because they disobeyed, they followed the wrong thing, and they quote-unquote fell into the gap. So hopefully y'all don't shop at Gap no more, because now you know what it really is, what it means. Stop worshiping Baal. Stop allowing yourself to be debased. Stop thinking that anything goes, because again, when you disobey Yah, what will you not do? Again, sex is a vehicle and it will take you. When you're doing it right in Yah's mandated legal spiritual way, it'll take you to beautiful places. But when you follow the enemy and his plan, it's a portal that's going to take you everywhere away from Yah. Then be like, what will you not do? Remember again, mass murderers and psychotic killers, stuff, they all started out with pornography. Proven fact. A lot of these people that you see is just so debased now. What's one of the things that helps people get into the hidden hand system so that they can get the riches and all this other stuff that's going to fade is they do sexual things. What do you think is happening at the Bohemian Grove? What do you think is happening in all these secret society things? Even look at the Divine Nine stuff and all these other things. What are they doing? It's all got sex that's part of it, because that you have to marry yourself to that thing. And then once you're in it, it gets on you and in you. And then again, what will you not do? You start looking at children and they don't become children to you anymore. They become sexual objects. Why do you think they sexualize the children now? As time is winding up. Why do you think they're sexualizing animals? Because that was another thing that happened at Baal Peor worship, is bestiality. Not just homosexuality and practices even heterosexual sex, that things that were done that shouldn't have been done, but bestiality. All manners of things. Because what does it say? The whole thing of the thing of Thelema with the Aleister Crowley with his wicked self, his thing was do as thou wilt is the whole of the law. Do what you want to do. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's your world, baby. Do what makes you feel good. When you worship the wrong thing, you die. When you take in something that was never meant for you to have, you die. I know I'm getting long-winded. I know I said I'm going to let you go. And let's look at Balaam. The name Balaam actually comes from two words, Baal and Am. Balaam means immovable, fail, cannot, and nation. So just look at that with his name and then see how he was. And I believe King Balak, his name meant devastator. He wasn't able to devastate the people the way he wanted to, but he knew that if he could get sin in, and who do we see that from? The enemy. Satan does the same thing. If I can just get sin in them, they'll curse themselves. And they will kill themselves. Hope that you got something from that this evening. And I love you all. Be in prayer for us. We're praying for you. Remember, as long as you follow Yah, there's blessings. Fat of the land. Curse yourself. Kill yourself. So don't do it. be obedient to his word. Shalom.